Donald Trump is meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy today. They're holding talks at Trump Tower in New York City. This week, Zelenskyy has been making a pitch for more military assistance to help battle Russia. CBC's Richard Madden joins us live from Washington. So, Richard, just yesterday we were saying meetings doesn't look like it's going to happen. Now it's happening. So what are we expecting to come out of it?
Well, you're right. The fact this even happened is somewhat surprising because these two leaders have a very tumultuous history, to put it delicately. Former President Donald Trump routinely criticizes Zelenskyy on the campaign trail, blaming him for failing to make a deal with Moscow. Now, as you noted, Trump's campaign insisted a meeting wasn't on until yesterday, when Trump posted Zelenskyy's request to meet with him and agreed to it. So the two met earlier this morning, one day after Zelenskyy met separately with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. He took the trip to Trump Tower. Now, Zelenskyy is selling what he calls his victory plan to win Ukraine's war against the Russian invasion, and this includes his urgent request to use American-supplied long-range missiles to fire deeper into Russian territory. The White House has been reluctant to green-light it, and Russian President Vladimir Putin says approving it would be a red line and a declaration of war by the U.S. Now, Zelenskyy says authorizing this plan will give him an edge in the war. Now, take a listen to what these two had to say earlier today.
Long before January 20th, before I would take the presidency, it's January 20th, but long before that, I think that we can work out something that's good for both sides. It's time. And by the way, the president knows that too. He wants to get something done. He doesn't want to do this.
I want to discuss with you, I think, where we are together. I think we have common view that the war in Ukraine has to be stopped and Putin can't win and Ukrainians have to prevail, and I want to discuss with you the details of our plan of victory.
So, a somewhat awkward moment there, because you'll recall Trump was impeached back in 2019 over accusations he pressured Zelenskyy on a phone call to dig up dirt on the Biden family, that so-called quid pro quo, get the aid package in exchange for damaging intel on Hunter and Joe Biden. Now, Trump, of course, was convicted in the House, acquitted in the Senate, but you can imagine there may have been some awkward moments behind the scenes when these two were speaking. But with November's election fast approaching and a potential Trump victory, who's criticized Ukraine's war efforts and the NATO alliance helping him, both Ukrainian and many American officials believe authorizing the use of American long-range missiles needs to happen quickly.
So that's what Donald Trump is up to today. Let's talk about Kamala Harris. She's back out on the campaign trail. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the vice president is taking on an issue where she's widely viewed as vulnerable: illegal immigration. Now, Harris will make her first trip to the southern border in Arizona, and she's expected to announce plans to combat the flow of fentanyl and blame Trump for spiking a rare bipartisan congressional deal to curb illegal crossings and boost Border Patrol. Now, Trump, you'll recall, urged Republicans to block that congressional bill to avoid giving Democrats a win. But illegal immigration is one of Trump's strongest campaign issues and is a perceived weakness for Democrats. Now, you'll recall Harris was put in charge of finding root causes of migration when she was VP under Biden, and Trump has been using that to attack her administration's handling of the issue, while Harris is expected to hit back today at Trump for spiking that deal that had full bipartisan support for his own shallow political gain. So just a few more weeks to go until Americans head to the polls, immigration, of course, being one of the central issues during this election.
CBC's Richard Madden in Washington.